Welcome back to the SportsMax Zone. Boston Celtics were in jeopardy of starting the new year the same way they finished the old, with a loss. But Jaylen Brown put them on his back, scoring 50 points to lift them to a 116-111 overtime win against Orlando Magic. Brown became the 7th Celtic to score 50 points in a performance that consigned the Magic to a 30th defeat in 37 games.
The Orlando Magic taking on the Boston Celtics. The Magic's trying to win for the first time since Christmas. Jaylen Brown's ready. Let's take you there. Straight to the second half because this was an overtime thriller. Third quarter, Dennis Schroeder with the bounce pass to Jaylen Brown, who throws it down for two. Boston up 55-49 at this point. Gary Harris drives in, finishes with the Euro step and the lay-in. Terrence Ross this time goes all the way to the rim. Finishes, gets the foul, makes the free throw, makes the technical free throw attempt as well. Terrence Ross at it again. Ooh, loses the defender, finds himself wide open, makes the three. The Magic finished the quarter on a 20-4 run. Wagner drives in, finishes with the layup. He had 14 points. He was 5 of 14 from the field. In this one, Orlando up 96-82. Jaylen Brown knocks down the three. Then Marcus Smart gets the steal, dishes it to Brown, who lays it in for an easy two. Brown gets the handoff, shows off the handles. He had 21 points in the fourth quarter alone. Boston up 198. Frazier gets it in the paint, hits the layup. We're tied at 100. We're going to OT. Jaylen Brown feeling it wide open, coming over the screen, pulls up for the three, nails it. He had a career high 50 points in this game. He was 19 of 29 from the field. Brown gets the behind the back pass to Richardson, who lays it in for two. Look at the beautiful pass by Brown. He was executing on all cylinders tonight. 110-104 Boston on top. Then off the inbounds, Wendell Carter dumps it to Terrence Ross, who hits the corner three plus the foul, makes the free throw. He had 33 points in his first game back from COVID protocols. Brown dishes it to Horford in the corner for three, and Boston would go on to win this thriller 116-111.
50 points is a lot, Lance.
Yeah, and when 21 came in the fourth quarter alone, he was on fire at crunch time. So not only that his overall tally was big, but fourth quarter, as you know, George, is where games are decided, and he was really hot.
Yeah, most teams would be very, very pleased with scoring 30 points in the fourth quarter alone, and for one man to score 21 just shows you the kind of game that Jaylen Brown was having. Well, it seems as if it was a weekend of walkouts in sport in the United States. Midway through Sunday's game between Tampa Bay Buccaneers and New York Jets in New York, talking about the NFL now, Bucs wide receiver Antonio Brown decided he'd had enough. Brown removed his jersey and the shoulder pads, threw his undershirt and gloves into the crowd, then chucked up a peace sign as he walked across the field while the game was in play and sauntered out the arena. That move was similar to the stunt pulled by Houston Rockets guard Kevin Porter against Denver Nuggets on Saturday night. Following a heated halftime talk with assistant coach John Lucas, the 21-year-old lost his temper, threw an object, then promptly left the arena. When we say left the arena, he left the stadium, went out the stadium and drove away. The Rockets went on to lose 124-111 to the Nuggets. Lance, let's first start with Antonio Brown. I don't even know where to start with the question, but let's talk about Antonio Brown.
Well, let's start here, George, because we know that on any sporting platform, tempers flare. You know, the viciousness of competition will trigger reactions from time to time. But I think in the cases here with Brown in the NFL and Porter in the NBA, we're dealing with a couple of young men who by themselves are easily triggered. So let me say quickly that I hesitate to slam people who lose it in moments like these, because it is not easy sometimes in sport to be squeaky clean at all times, 365 days of the year. The problem with these young men, George, is that they have a track record of bad behavior, and in some instances bordering on criminal activity as well. So I think the sympathy for them would be a lot less. In the case of Brown, a lot of the issues surrounding what happened yesterday are sort of cloudy because no one knows exactly what triggered him at the time in that NFL match. There were some issues before that, and he has already, been punished for other transgressions. But for him to, he gave up, I think, a $1 million bonus by walking out the way he did because he was on course for a $1 million bonus. So something must have triggered him to go all that way.
You're very kind. You're very kind. The disappointing thing for me, in the case of
Brown or Porter, or
both of them,
yes,
Lance, I would have been shocked if what Brown did and what Porter did was done by a white player. Let that sink in for a minute, Lance.
Okay.
I am not shocked that in both instances, it was a black man who reacted that way. Lance, it is consistent with some of our behavior in sport and some of our behavior in circumstances where emotional intelligence is needed. And yes, it sounds away. It sounds as if, there you go, you are one of us and you're making it seem as if we are the least of the apostles. But it's a fact. Lance, I wanted to consider it.
Yes.
We've spoken a lot of times about the experience that you've had in this business. Lance, can you imagine, close your eyes, in the same way that many of us can't close our eyes and think of the Jesus that they taught us about in schools as a black man, because the Jesus we've been seeing is a white man on a picture in our houses and in church and everything else. Can you picture a white man reacting this way, walking out like Antonio Brown did and walking out like Kevin Porter did?
Yes, I can, George.
You can?
Yes, I can.
I can't. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. This behavior is consistent with what we do. And I'm saying to you, for Antonio Brown to react the way he did suggests that he should be far away from any team, because you've said that we don't know what triggered him. But if there's something that can trigger you, unless someone called you the N-word and said the worst things about your mother, a member of your playing staff, or some member of the coaching staff, some member of the team that you're on, to say, wait a minute, you, a member of my team, are saying these things to me, I'm out of here, I'm leaving. Unless it's that, then this man is mentally unstable and lacks the basic emotional intelligence that can deal with a setback, or being told that he's not going into the game, or being told something contrary to what his opinion about the course of action in a particular moment should be. He should not be anywhere near the team. Kevin Porter is on course to becoming an Antonio Brown, and like so many other black athletes who we've seen behave this kind of way. Listen, this man is 21, traded from the Cavaliers because, guess what, Lance? They moved his locker.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, you remember that.
He got upset, yeah.
And he got upset because they moved his locker.
They moved his locker, yeah.
The general manager went down to the dressing room to calm him down. He refused to calm because they removed his locker. Then, this man has against his name firearms offense, accused of punching a woman in August last year, other kind of violent acts that have been against his name at 21 years old, and he reacts that way to the coach. It wasn't him who was being criticized in the Lance.
Yes.
It was Wood,
yes,
the team's leading scorer, who was being criticized for a lack of intensity by the assistant coach.
Yeah.
He stepped in to defend Wood and ended up, as we say here at SportsMax, he cut a key for an argument that Wood was having with the assistant coach. And then he started, again, a thing that we say in Jamaica, you take a pill for somebody else's sickness. And he eventually blowing his top.
Yeah.
Wood didn't leave, Lance. The subject of the criticism didn't leave the stadium, didn't leave the team. But he bought out their argument and he left in a huff. I'm saying to you, it's what's wrong with us as young men. People put a lot of store into protecting young women and saying young women need to be protected. And of course women need to be protected. Of course women have been marginalized. Of course we need to pay attention to girls in schools. But I'm suggesting that we need to start paying equal attention to boys and men, teaching men how to deal with emotionally difficult circumstances, helping our young men to use common sense.
Yes.
It's disappointing, Lance, and I'm suggesting to you, I don't think two white men would have reacted in the same way.
Okay, I hear you, Joe, but I just want to say that we're on the same page, because I did say that because of their track record, I'm not going to excuse them. Neither of them. Break time.